Welcome to Beyond Sunday, where we take the conversation a step further to grow in our love and understanding of Jesus.
Welcome back to the Beyond Sunday podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Sarah.
And we have a very special guest.
Yes,
Legendary pastor.
absolutely.
Here at New Life.
Yes.
Pastor Greg Marshall.
Hey guys,
So
good
awesome.
to be here.
Yeah, awesome to have you. Greg is the longest tenured pastor
Yeah.
here at New Life.
He's like the OG.
Yes.
Yes.
You've been, you started in, did you start in 91?
92.
92.
Yeah,
Okay.
church started in April of 92 and I started in August of 92. So I've been
Wow,
here
dude.
33 years.
That's awesome. I knew it was 33 years, so I just had to basically do the math, and I could have figured out what year you started in. But that was way too challenging. So something's really cool. Greg and I had some overlap, very momentary overlap in the church because when New Life
yeah.
started,
Yep.
it started in the church that I grew up in. 'Cause
Oh,
New
yeah.
Life was using the sanctuary, I think in the afternoon.
Yeah, you guys would meet in the morning at like 9, 10 o'clock,
Yep.
and then we'd come in at 1 o'clock.
It was
Yeah,
1
our
o'clock in the
service.
afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
That is Baptist.
Yeah, but those were the days you could sleep in as long as you wanted, get some
yeah.
lunch, and then head to church.
Wait, you would want that back just to have the 1 o'clock, like right in the middle of like a football game.
I was going to say, you missed a lot of the Steelers games, but it was nice having that Sunday morning sleep.
How long did you guys do that for?
About a year and a half.
Wow, it was that long.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah. We moved out here at end of 93, beginning of 94. We moved into the Bear Foundation, and then we're in there for a year, and they renovated. Then we moved over to the Grange. Then we moved from the Grange out to here in 96.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so cool. Though.
And during that time, you've worn many hats since
Yeah.
your start here. So, did you start as children's pastor? Or
I started as the children/youth pastor.
Okay.
So I was doing your job.
Yeah.
he was
and
the
then-
original.
And then, funny story, Pastor John told me I wasn't any good at your job. So he actually called me into his office one day and he said, because I know you want to be a youth pastor, but you're more effective with the kids, so you can
Yeah.
either become the children's pastor or you can find another job. So
Super cool. That's the uplifting message you want to receive. Wait, you're awesome. Like, I mean, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. You are truly a legend within children's ministry. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, kids, like parents felt like one of the biggest connection points for parents was they have such a good kids program here
Right.
that they
Yeah.
wanted to like bring their
Yes.
kids here.
People
So-
still talk about you.
Yeah.
Oh, we had Pastor Greg.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
kids had Pastor
This
Greg.
past
Yeah.
Wednesday night, we had a
Yeah.
kid that's a senior.
Yeah.
He's like, I had Pastor Greg. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How did you have Pastor Greg? He must have been much young. Like, it must have been when he was way younger.
Yeah.
I'm so old that some of the sixth graders that I had in the original youth group
Yeah.
now have children.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, you realize like every teen listening to this is going, the 90s, that was like last century.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great when they find out. I mean, we were born in the 80s.
Right.
That's
We're
always
super
awesome.
old.
You were
Yeah.
born in
69.
almost 70, man. No, but I was saying all that to say, like, how you as this like beloved children's pastor,
Mm.
how are you not a fit for the youth ministry? Because I feel like 90s youth ministry was not that different from today's children's ministry in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I don't know that he necessarily put it in those terms, but
Mm.
he said I was more effective in the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he wanted me to be the kids pastor. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was one of those things where, I enjoyed doing the kids ministry and eventually I fell in love with it.
Yes.
But it was not what I went to school for. It was not what I envisioned my life being. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it took a step of faith, but I think it was a good step, and God
for
blessed.
sure.
And,
Yeah.
Because you did kids ministry for 25 years.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
awesome, man.
That's
That's
crazy,
super
yes.
cool, and still going at it, and still young.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
My body doesn't say that, but thank you.
56 is not old at all. Greg and I are 16 years apart. Like, I always felt like when I started here, you're like the oldest brother, and I was the baby brother.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of been our relationship.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But no, man, like I said, I was super glad that you said you could do this with us. Like, because I mean, one of the things that you are also known for, I mean, you're known for being the children's pastor for a really, really long time and connecting with like I don't know, probably thousands of kids over the years.
Yeah.
But you're also our missions.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, guru really here at the church. How many mission trips have you gone on?
Oh gosh, we've lost track. I mean, it's the last we kind of started counting. It's approaching like 30, 35, something like
Wow.
that.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So-
That's it? I would have thought, like, I highly exaggerated the number.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, that
like,
makes
he's
sense.
been on like 60 mission trips easily.
Again, I've lost track of so many. I've been to Jamaica probably 15, 16
Easy.
easy. Yeah, and then different other places. But it's, which is really surprising because I had no desire to do missions.
Really?
Oh, really?
Zero. No, when I started here as the kids pastor, I would have the missionaries come in and I'd be like, oh, that's great. That's nice. When I was a kid, my youth pastor left to be a missionary in Brazil.
Okay.
And so, I knew what missions was. I knew, why people did it. But it was just like, yeah, okay, that's something we do as a church. And then years ago, Pastor John decided they were going to do a missions trip to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, great, whatever. And so they came back and, everybody's like, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was so hot. And as a big guy, I was like, yeah, great. That's good. You go on your missions trips. I have no desire. They went the second year, came back, same thing. It was the most amazing thing, but it was so hot. And so then John came in my office the afternoon after they got back, and he goes, yeah, we're doing Vacation Bible School, and I'm not a kids guy. You're leading next year's trip. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he did something smart. He took me on a scouting trip to Jamaica in February.
Yeah.
And so when we left here, it was 20 degrees outside. And we landed there, and it was like 78, 82 degrees.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect weather, no humidity. He got us a hotel on the beach. We met with the pastors. And the last night we were down there, he put on the jukebox. He says, I got dinner. He put on the jukebox cheeseburger in paradise.
Yeah.
And we ate cheeseburgers sitting on the beach looking out at the ocean.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, I might be able to do this.
Yeah.
And then we did the first missions trip.
Yeah. In summer, probably, right?
In August.
Yeah.
And we had 300 and some kids packed into a tin roof building.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was
Wow.
105 in the shade.
Oh.
And so I was literally melting.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was miserable, but just seeing the kids and
Yeah.
seeing how God worked, I fell in love with missions. And
Yeah.
I did Jamaica, oh gosh, every year, sometimes twice a year for the next 10 years, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then we branched out. Pastor Ron started doing the DR.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you started Canada in there somewhere.
Canada was in 2012 was our first year. We were in
Okay.
Canada.
And then since then, I've been to Brazil, China, France, Kenya, El Salvador. I'm sure there's some that I'm missing, but
Yeah. I know you've done a ton of mission trips. So that's really cool. But so your introduction to missions is pretty much the same as my introduction to missions here at the church. Because it was always a meeting with Pastor John over a meal.
Yeah.
That's how he got you. Like that's how he roped you in. Was like, all right, you want to go to lunch? And when I was brand new. It was the fall of 2011. I had just started in July, and so it was probably it's probably like October, November. He's like, hey, you want to go get some lunch? I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I have no idea that this is like protocol. And he's like, I want you to lead Jamaica. Like, because we were doing two trips to Jamaica, and you led one, and Matt Garrison led the other one for a few years. I don't know how long Matt did his Jamaica trip, which is kind of like a teen/adult trip, and then you did mainly adult, right? Yeah. So he asked me to do that, and the funny thing was like, Sarah and I had gone to Jamaica the year before,
Mhm.
and I felt no call to go back to Jamaica because in 2011 we went to Ukraine,
Mhm.
and I felt this desperate call on my heart to go back to Ukraine. Like I was
Yeah.
like, we connected, and like it felt like this thing that we were going, like Sarah and I were going to be able to do for years. I remember in that meeting, Pastor John was like, I really want to go back to Jamaica. Or I'm sorry, I really want to go back to Ukraine. He's like, well, we already have a pastor doing that, but you're going to do Jamaica. And I'm like, okay.
That sounds pretty typical. Yeah.
Because I was in the same boat. I was like, it's so hot there. You know, it's so hot in the summer because we always went in the summer. Like, I mean, we've done mission trips now, and you went to El Salvador in February, which was awesome. Perfect time to go to El Salvador because otherwise you would be there when it's like 110 degrees.
Absolutely.
You know, in the sun. He's like, but that's how the whole Canada trip came up, because in that same conversation, he said, hey, there's this couple that I want you to meet, this family that started a church in Canada doing missions with the Chinese. Would you be interested in doing that? And I was like, sure. Like I was so nervous about cold calling somebody because I was so new.
Yeah.
But that was like, honestly, incredibly grateful for that opportunity. But yeah, that was just the common thing. But I got a meal at the tavern.
And you don't know what it's going to turn into. Like, who knew that would
never
turn
know.
into like this decade-long relationship with Theo Boyles and people in Canada, and like what that turned into for us. So,
Yes.
and then same thing with you, Greg, is you didn't necessarily want to do that right out of the gate, but obviously you said you developed a heart for it. So like, tell us about that. How did that happen? Was it like trip one, you're like, yes, I'm doing this forever, or was it over time?
Yeah, I mean, so first trip I went on, we're in this room and there's 300 kids, and and we had taken gifts for them, and so the final day, I dismissed everybody. I mean, it was, we were singing songs and they're screaming and yelling, and it's just this huge high, and I dismissed everybody, and I look over and there's the box of beach balls that we didn't hand out.
This is the beach ball trip?
This is the beach ball trip.
It was the first one.
First one.
Oh my goodness.
And so, because Pastor John and Nanette were with us on the trip, like overseeing it, so I wasn't on my own yet.
Yeah.
And so in the States, we would just go out, hey, everybody, I forgot to give you your beach balls. Come on back. I went outside. That's what I did. Hey, everybody, forgot your beach balls. And they came running towards me, 300 kids. And I'm like, okay, line up. And they did not line up. They started pushing me and grabbing the beach balls out of the box, and they were backing me up. And I was in front of the church, and they backed me up into this car, and I didn't have anywhere to go. And now they're starting to like punch each other and like grab these balls. And I look over my shoulder, and one of the guys from the team is standing in the door of the church. Yeah. So I took the whole box of beach balls, I closed it up, and I threw it over my head, over the car, into his arms, and he ran into the church. And all the kids started rushing at the church, and they started pounding on the doors. And so now I'm outside with 300 angry kids.
Yeah.
And so
just you?
Yeah, just me. And I went around the side of the building, and I ran to the back door, and I'm banging on the door. And Nanette, the pastor's wife, was inside. She's like, no beach balls for you. You were bad. And I'm like, Nanette, it's me.
Please let me
open the door. And as she opens the door, this mass of kids comes running around the side of the church, and I get inside just as they start pounding on the door. We were in there for 2 hours with them wanting stupid beach balls.
Yeah, just like the cheap plastic,
just
like 50
plastic
cent beach ball, basically.
Wow. Exactly. Yeah, and so that was when I fell in love with missions. I thought that was awesome.
That's when I fell in love.
That's when I knew it was for me.
So in all of that, like, do you remember any kids like that you like got the? Because going back year after year after year. So is that when it started? Like 20 straight years, basically, or 15?
Pretty much.
Years?
It was about 10, 15. Yeah.
Like, were there like? You also served with different pastors.
Yes.
But were you able to keep up with like any individuals over all those years as well?
Yeah. So so this is probably a weakness on my part. because I'm a leader on the team, I'm focused on our team.
Yeah, I get that.
And so I'm making sure that the program is going well and that, our people are doing what they're supposed to do and that they're having a good time and that they're able to minister. And so in terms of like giving you a story of a kid that I saw grow up, and again, it's a weakness on my part is I didn't develop those personal relationships.
I get it.
But I did see the kids, the same kids year after year. And it's interesting. I hadn't been back to Jamaica for, oh my goodness, it's probably been 10 years. And we went this past summer. And when we came in, this lady comes up and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're back." And I was like, I looked at her and I'm like, you look kind of familiar.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I was a kid when you were here the first time. And now my kids are back." And I'm so cool. And I'm so glad that you're, they're back and they get to have you to do their VBS.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, and you're totally right. I feel like a lot of times the leader's job on it, because I had the exact same experience over the years. It's like I don't get a whole lot of connection time, even with like, as much as I want to connect, even with our students, like my team that I'm taking, like I'm like just making sure everybody's like staying alive and doing the jobs, and, like keeping everything up. I mean, the one thing I always got to experience, I'm sure you've had the same experience, is the connection with whomever we are serving.
Yes.
There. So like,
the different pastors.
Yeah. All the different pastors. Like what were some of the special connections that you made with those guys over the years and how those bonds lasted until now?
They still last. Like I said, it's been 10 years since I've been in Jamaica, but just the other day I got a call from Pastor Green. He just called to say, "How's your family?"
Oh, nice.
So I hear from Pastor Green, Pastor Watson. For the longest time, I heard from a couple of the other pastors, not so much anymore, but 3 or 4 of the pastors still call from time to time. We talk, and
Pastor Green was the one that we served the first time we went down. That was with Pastor
on that church on the mountain where you got to drive like almost straight up to get to it.
Wow, is that an experience?
Yeah.
Like you're on that bus and those roads are narrow.
Yeah.
So you're going up and it's like, oh, I can see right over the side. Yeah. This is a little intimidating.
Yeah.
But Pastor Green was incredible.
Yeah.
I remember Pastor Thompson as well, serving with him.
Now, Pastor Thompson, he is actually working in Florida now. He lives in Florida, and he is the IGM Caribbean coordinator.
Oh, that's cool.
So he oversees all of the churches in the Caribbean right now.
Yeah. So you guys did Vacation Bible School. Did you ever do evening programs too when you were in Jamaica?
Yeah, just this past time we were down, we did VBS. So this past time we were down there Monday through Thursday, we did VBS. And we did 2 churches, one in the morning, one in the evening. So the first day, we'll call them Church A, Church B. First Monday, we did VBS. On Monday and Tuesday, we did VBS in the morning at Church A, and then we did evening programs at Church B. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we flip-flopped, and we did Vacation Bible School at Church B in the morning and evening programs at Church A. And it was really good. It was we had my son Brandon, his it was then his newlywed wife Jamie. We had Brian Altman who plays drums.
Oh yeah, incredible drums.
And so they sang and played guitar for the evening outreach. And the one thing we didn't plan on though was it was the same kids from VBS that came out in the evening. We thought it would be more of an adult. So I planned to preach. And I showed up the first day and I had this message on the prodigal son and running from God. And I'm like, the oldest person in here is like 12. So this is great.
That does create a little bit of a challenge. When we went the one year that the year that I led the trip to Jamaica, they had us do like a teen outreach thing in the evenings. And I had to preach in those, and that there was nothing more, like I was never more intimidated in my entire life preaching than they preach hard in Jamaica and long. And I'm like, I'm going to give you a good half hour.
Exactly.
That's what you're getting out of me. Like, I can't go longer than that.
I always prepare everybody that, when I'm done preaching, the pastor will then get up and preach a message on what I just preached.
Always. That is always the experience.
It's like 30, 40 minutes he is, or he's doing the invitation and he's like just pressuring people. I know you want to respond, stand. And it's like, okay, we're now 40 minutes after the message. It's time to be done, dude.
The wrap up message is always a double the length of the actual message, like the message that you were asked to prepare.
So you talk about being intimidated, though.
Yeah.
I went to the DR one year.
Yes.
And they did the same thing. They did an outreach, but theirs was a volleyball tournament. They did all afternoon, and then they split the guys and the girls off, and they had somebody speaking to the guys, and they looked at me and they said, "We want you to talk to the teenage girls about abstinence."
Oh boy.
The
Jamaican pastor asked you to do this?
Oh no, it was the people from New
Oh
Life.
my, okay.
Yeah, they were like, these girls need to know that they need to wait till marriage.
Okay.
And I'm like, so
true.
So yeah, so the big bald American is going to tell these Dominican teenagers all about what they need, and I'm like, this is not going to go well. And so I did. And it didn't, and it was.
Oh no!
It didn't take.
It was not good. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, that is one of those things that you kind of have to like.
Oh, like I wouldn't do that in the States, let alone.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to always have like if we're doing anything like that within the team ministry. I always have to. If it's girls, I'm gonna have Sarah talk to them because that's gonna be way more effective.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of that, but during the teen aspect of it in the evening, but man, we would get guys that were like way older than that. But our biggest thing was like one of our guys that came with us had like a background that was like, I mean, he went through some rough stuff, and like he was able to share his testimony with the boys, like his experience. Because a lot of those boys, like in Jamaica, sadly, like they get involved in things that are, just ways of making money. Yeah, like they're just looking to make money because it's a very impoverished country. And he was able to share his experience with them. I mean, those boys, I mean, I remember watching this group of young men sit around him and just absorb everything that he was saying. They had so many questions and stuff. And that was like one of the beautiful moments of that. So it's like, sometimes the things that we bring are met, like it just falls on deaf ears. Yep. Or you're put into a situation where it's like, could I have a lady here? But sometimes I feel like, like you just never know what the outcome's going to be. And like, so you just like kind of just walk in faith in those things.
And that's really, we have rules when we go on missions trip. And rule number 2 is be flexible.
Oh yeah.
You never know what's going to happen on a missions trip.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's a good direction for us to take this in. Like, okay, somebody's interested in serving in missions. Like, what are steps that they need to take in doing so? Okay.
Well, so first step is to just let the church know you're interested.
Oh, yeah.
So whether that is filling out an application online, talking to a team leader, just let somebody know that you're interested in going. Mm-hmm. And then because we have so many trips going out, we require a deposit. So that kind of puts your money where your mouth is. Mm-hmm. And so, you give your money and we're like, okay, you're really interested in going.
Yeah.
Then the very next thing is you should take the share class. In the share class, we talk about, everybody thinks it's the missions class. And it is. We talk about missions, but it's also sharing your faith.
Yes.
Because, even though I'm the missions pastor, we're all on mission every day.
Absolutely.
And so when we talk about share, it doesn't help to go overseas or to go to Canada or to go to West Virginia or go wherever and share your faith if you're not doing it at home.
Yep.
And so the share class teaches you how to share your faith. And then the second half of the class, we talk about practically how do you go on a missions trip? How do you raise your funds? How do you get your passport? What should you plan on packing? What should your expectations be while you're on the trip?
Yeah.
And so take that share class. And then basically it's just, it's up to your team leader, to set meetings and then, just go from there.
Yeah. No, and that's what we always encourage people, because one of the biggest things I feel like when it comes to missions that people get caught up on is I can't afford this. Like this is impossible for me to come up with. I mean, can you share a little bit of your own? I mean, we can share our experience too a little bit. Like, what has your experience been with fundraising, and like when you feel called to go into the mission field, like just trusting God that he will provide it.
Mhm.
Like if it's truly supposed to be, like
Yeah.
just trusting God to provide. So you want to share on that a little bit?
Yeah, we always say that finances or money is not a reason not to go on a missions trip.
Mhm.
That if God wants you to go, God will provide. And so we have a process. What we do is there's so many ways you can raise your funds to go. You can save your money, work extra jobs, work hard, mow grass, do whatever, and raise the money to go that way. The easiest way and the way that we prefer is you send out letters to friends, relatives, everybody and say, hey, I'm going on a missions trip. Would you help me go? And then they donate to your trip.
Yeah.
And then, the third way is fundraisers. I hate fundraisers.
It's a mixed bag.
It is.
And I'm sure, share your experience, but I'll share my experience with fundraisers because it's all over the place.
Well, again, it's an issue of cost versus benefits.
Yes.
Like time versus results. Like typically, youth group, everybody thinks, oh, we're going to raise money to go on a mission trip. We're going to have a car wash.
Yes.
And so we have this car wash. And, sometimes you make $50, sometimes you make $500. But if you have, let's just make it nice, easy numbers. If you have 10 kids working at a car wash for 10 hours and they make $1,000, that's $100 an hour divided by 10 kids.
Mm-hmm.
They each made $100, but in actuality, they only made $10 an hour, which is less than minimum wage these days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better for them to go get a job at McDonald's and put their money towards their trip than to do that.
It is so difficult. And that's that's been one of the things that I've had to have that conversation with like families and stuff over the years. And so they're like, aren't you going to do fundraiser? I'm like, well, this is what we found over the years is like, we'll put hours and hours into the preparation ahead of time, the day of, and then the cleanup afterwards. And then like all of that. And when it all gets sorted, if you only end up with like $400 in profit, $300 in profit, I'm not saying that's nothing.
Yeah.
But when you're dividing that amongst a team that could be 10, 15 people, you're like, it's like, wow. We spent a lot of time and a lot of effort. Now we've done other fundraisers, like we've done like our golf scramble, and that's like, but a lot of that also is generosity on top of.
Yeah, because you're taking a lot of donations rather than your profit coming from the people who are actually golfing.
Yes,
people are giving donations to the
and that's a big portion of it. So it really depends on the scope of the fundraiser,
right? And that's why I don't like fundraisers, but the letters, I'll give you a story.
Yes.
So Pastor Tim, before he was a pastor, decided he wanted to go to Jamaica. And he came and he said, look, I'm just not sure I'm going to be able to swing it. And I said, just be faithful. Even if it's $100 a month, start giving that, send out your letters. And so make a long story short, he put in his $100, back then it was a $100 deposit. It was cheap to go back then. And he put in his $100 deposit, sent out his letters. Second month came back in and he said, have I gotten any support? And I said, you got $200. So your account's at $300 now. He goes, great, here's another $100. Now the trip at that point cost $1,000.
That's crazy, man.
Total. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So now he had $400 in his account. He came back the next month with $100. So he gave it to me. That's $500. He goes, can you check my account? And I checked his account and it was at $1,100.
Wow.
And he goes, so his trip was paid for. And he goes, you know what? God's really been faithful to me. So I'm just going to keep making my $100 a month. Again, long story short, he paid, I want to say $600 or $700, but by the time it was all said and done, he had brought in like $2,300 from his letters. And so he paid not just for himself to go, he paid for 3 or 4 other people at least part of their trips to go.
That's incredible.
And so, God not only provided for him, but provided for other people through his faithfulness.
And that's such an important reminder too, is like our generosity goes beyond just like going into the field. It's like if I could help somebody else get into the field so the gospel can be shared, like keeping that in mind. Like those support letters are so important.
Kind of our motto for the missions is pray, give, go. You know, because not everybody can go on a missions trip. I wish they could. You know, when I was the kids pastor, I always encouraged all of my kids, you know, before you graduate from high school, go on a trip. So whether that was to Canada or whether it was an overseas trip, you know, and I encourage people now, you know, just to go on a trip somewhere.
Absolutely agree.
And so if you can't go, then give to help somebody go.
Yes.
And even if you can't afford to give, everybody can pray for missionaries.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a way to get started, we've got that whole missions hall downstairs.
Yeah.
We support, Sarah, what are we at? 70, 72 missionaries
Something
right now?
like that. Yeah.
So you could walk down that hall every week for a year, choose a different missionary and pray for them for the week. And you wouldn't exhaust all of the missionaries we have.
That's still the giving of our time, which is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like taking time to pray for those people every single day. That is our service within it. So I mean, there's so many different ways to serve within the mission field other than physically being there.
Yeah.
Like all those trips. Like when we were going to Ukraine, I remember it was a very similar story where it was like we were brand new married, relatively new married. Like, we were married for like 4 years at that point.
Like 3, I think.
We were still young and like working on a very tight budget. It was more of the thing. Yes. And so we were like, oh God, we feel called to this. We felt this longing to be part of it. Like it was like, I think that trip was like $2,300 each.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, how are we going to raise $4,600? Like we don't have that kind of money at all. And man, we put those letters out, the support letters, and we did a little bit of some fundraising.
Yeah.
A little bit of fundraising. But like the support letters, like it was crazy. It was like, man, God provided the way, the whole way. And we went, and that was one of the most impactful trips like I've ever been part of, like eye-opening trips.
And same thing, our account overflowed, so we were able to help some other team members as well, which is awesome. But like, don't assume people wouldn't give to that. Like we sent to all kinds of people who were like, oh, let's just see. You know what I mean? If nothing else, they can be praying for us. So, and we were shocked at what came back, you know, because people do want to support that. If they're in a season of life they can't go, they still can take part in it by contributing. So.
Yeah. And that wasn't even like, we weren't even on staff at that point. Like we were like, so it wasn't like, oh, they got to support like one of the pastors at the church. It's like, that wasn't the situation. It was just like, this is just Steve and Sarah. So, but like people were so generous to us. So like, just things to keep in mind. So Greg, we'll close on 2 things. Okay. Like we'll do greatest moment in your missions experience, and then your most challenging moment, other than the volleyball debacle.
I will start with the most challenging. Okay. So rule number 2 is to be flexible.
Yeah.
And that was tested 1 year in Jamaica. So I had put the trip together. I think it was 16 people with us. And we pull up to the hotel in our bus, and the owner comes out. And I had stayed at the same hotel for like 4 years, 5 years in a row. Mm-hmm. So he knew us. So he saw me getting off the bus, and he comes out and he goes, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, what am I doing here?" I said, "We're here for the week." He goes, "No." I said, "Yeah." And I pulled up. I always carry like all of the confirmation emails.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, here's the email that you sent saying this week is going to cost this much. And I said, "Sounds great. We'll take it." Yes. And he said, "Oh, I never saw that email." Oh. And we're completely booked. And it is Independence Day week here in Jamaica. So all of the hotels in the Grill are packed. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. And I'm like, okay. And so now I'm mad.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, let me see what I can do."
Yeah.
And so he went inside, and I sat down, and I'm just fuming. And this one girl who had been on probably 10 or 12 trips with me, she sat down and she goes, "What's your problem?" And I go, what do you mean, what's my problem? We don't have a place to stay. I have 16 people here with luggage. We're supposed to be here for a week.
You're exhausted.
Don't have a place to stay. We've been traveling all day.
Yeah.
I just want to take a nap or hit the pool or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, what do you mean, what is my problem? She goes, what's rule number 2? And I go, it's be flexible, but that's different.
That's when I want to be flexible.
That's not when you're facing like no place to stay in a foreign country with 16 people. She goes, it's Jamaica. We can sleep on the beach. And I'm like, we are not sleeping on the beach.
That went a different direction than I thought.
I'm like, we're not sleeping on the beach. It's not safe.
No.
She goes, God will provide. I said, I know God will provide, but right now I'm mad.
Yeah.
And so, we had this whole conversation, and now I'm mad at her because she's calling me out. And so the guy comes back out and he goes, well, I'm sorry. He goes, I did find you a hotel, but it's down the road a ways, and it's on the other side of the road. Mm. So to understand what that means is we were staying right by this place called Rick's on the cliffs. Yeah.
Like the place you can go cliff diving and stuff, right?
Yeah, and we were right across the street, but we were, on the other side of the road from Rick's. Mm-hmm. So we had a pool, but we didn't have any ocean view. Mm-hmm. He goes, it's on the other side, and it's a little bit more expensive, but they've agreed to let you stay there for what you would pay us.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, fine. He goes, but it is like 2 miles down the road, so you won't be as close to Rick's. I'm like, oh darn, at least we have a place to stay.
Yeah. Right.
So we get back on the bus, we pull in, and this place was amazing. It had air conditioning in the rooms where the other place didn't.
Oh, wow. That's a rarity.
It had swim-up bar for the pool, and you could cliff dive right there at the hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the other thing was, I don't know, this is the teen podcast?
Yes.
Okay. The old hotel.
Yeah.
We had noticed that there was more and more weed present at the hotel until the year before this. We had noticed they were growing their own weed in the kitchen. And so it became more and more of a problem. When we got to the new place, they had a no weed policy.
Oh, good.
And so we never went back to the old place. And so we went through the whole week, and we're getting onto the plane to go home. And the girl who, confronted me came up and she goes, I think you owe me an apology. And I was like, okay, you're right. So that was the most challenging.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick the best moment because there have been so many.
Okay. Maybe highlight a couple.
Yeah. I mean, Ukraine was one of them. It's just for the simple fact, like we showed up and they had some of the girls come out dressed in their traditional, dress, and they welcomed us. And it was just, you felt so welcome. You had the Paris trip where, you read about Paris in books and stuff, and you see the Eiffel Tower on TV, but to be there in that place and to see the culture and, in that trip, we spent the entire week walking around the neighborhoods, passing out invitations. So we weren't even doing we did Vacation Bible School, but for the most part, we're just wandering around talking to people and getting to know them and inviting them out to church. Yeah. I mean, that was an amazing trip. We went to Kenya, where we drove 4 hours off of paved roads. We went through these gullies where the van was almost tipped sideways. We get out in the middle of nowhere and 100 people show up and they're making us dinner. And Brandon goes, what are they making? And they go, stew, goat stew. And he goes, how are they making it? They go, well, they just took the goat back over there. And we walked back and they had killed the goat. And Brandon held up the skin that was still dripping blood.
Yeah.
And so that was the freshest thing I've ever eaten on the mission field.
We had the same experience in Jamaica with the goat. They're like, there was 3 goats in the morning and then 2 goats in the evening.
Yep. And just the different places, the different experiences. As far as ministry, probably the highlight was Kenya. Because we did a lot of humanitarian stuff. And so we would deliver food and water to these places that didn't have it. And probably the most touching thing that I've ever seen was we went to the slums of Ibera in Nairobi. And so 1.8 million people live in like a 1 mile square area.
Wow.
As Americans, we can't even go into the slums. It wouldn't be safe.
Yeah.
And so we went to a community center across from the slums, and we were supposed to hand out 150 meals, like bags of food. And when we showed up, there were over 200 people there.
Wow.
And we were like, how is this going to work? And so then when the people realized we didn't have enough food, they started getting angry, and they started to throw chairs up onto the stage.
Gosh.
And so Brandon thought, oh, look, they're making way to make room for the food. So he started catching the chairs and stacking them. And the pastor came over and he said, it is time for the white people to leave. And so we left. And the police had to come in and quell the riot that started. And so it was sad in a way, but it was also that's the most third world experience I've ever had.
Yeah, where it was like your life was actually like...
Yeah, there was some danger there, but it was also to see the desperation of people just for a bag of flour and a bottle of oil and some rice.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking, but all the more reason that we need to continue, not like pull away because of fear of what could come, but like all the more reason that we need to find ways to provide.
Exactly.
No, that's really cool. Well, Greg, thank you so much for sitting down with us. This is awesome. I know the students are going to be blessed by this, and it's a lot of fun just like getting to sit down and chit chat about.
And let me just say, if you even have an inkling that you want to go on a missions trip, talk to me, come to the share class, talk to Steve, but get to the missions field, because you don't realize you live in a bubble here in America. And when you are able to travel, first of all, people that travel in America are very few. What is it, like 20-25% of Americans never leave the country,
leave their hometown. So just the fact you get to travel is one thing, but then that you get to serve God when you travel is huge. Yeah, getting the experience. Yeah, I like that point. It's like you're not just like going, you're going to experience God's creation. You get to see another part of the world that He's created that's outside of your scope, and then also provide needs for needs as seem fit. I mean, then the whole mentality that we always need to have is like, I'm not going there to do something grand. I'm going there to serve people that are in need. Like I'm going to serve a pastor that needs help, like serving his people. And that's so like our mentality going into the mission field is always, it's not like we have an agenda. It's to help fulfill the purpose of whatever their goals and their goals are for their church and for the people of their community. So awesome, buddy. Well, Greg, thank you so much again.
Absolutely.
For Sarah, I'm Steve. We'll see you next time on Beyond Sunday. Bye.